Want to know what the movers and shakers of New Hampshire's performing arts are thinking? Welcome to New Hampshire Unscripted with your host, Ray Dudley.
All right, so thanks again for being here. I appreciate. I know it's a long way to go.
Well, it's what's funny is I'm going to be here tomorrow night playing at Panucci's.
Oh, you are
at downtown. Yeah.
Yeah.
We play Bitter Pill.
Yep. I was going to get to it. It's on my car.
My band ensemble cult.
Yes.
We play Concord regularly now.
Oh, well, that's really good.
Yeah, we play the True Brew Barista
Where
Cafe.
is that? Oh, I know where that is.
Oddfellows Way.
Yes.
Right there.
Yes.
That cool little kind of hidden courtyard downtown.
Yeah. They have a place there to play?
Yeah, it's
There's enough room in there?
yeah, it's a huge bar coffee shop.
It's in that little square, right?
Yeah, Oddfellows Way.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, the band that we're opening for tomorrow, they're friends of ours. They're called Oddfellows Way.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No, and I had to explain.
Who does that?
They're younger. Well, they've been playing at Panucci's for a while, just as like, they're townies, and
Yeah.
they love playing music, and they're really great. And if I remember this correctly, that they didn't know what Oddfellows were.
Oh.
And they just loved the name. They're like, we're taking this. It's a great name.
There's
for
a whole
band.
building on Pleasant Street, I think.
Oh, they're all over the country.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, the Oddfellows were kind of like the Masons.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah. I don't know a lot about them, but I know my dad was a Mason, my grandfather was a Mason. But they're very similar. I just love the name, Oddfellows.
Yes, I know. It's really it's very catchy, trips off the tongue.
Yeah.
And you don't forget it.
No, and they have the different Oddfellows halls, kind of like the Mason halls across the country. Little granges and meeting houses and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, thanks again.
Yeah, man.
So, I'm just kind of doing my own thing, cataloging artists
Yeah, man.
and people related to the arts.
Sure.
And your name comes up a lot.
Sorry.
But it's not from your parole officer.
Good.
But I see you because you have this relationship with a lot of people. We cross relationships with
Oh, yeah.
a lot of folks.
Sure.
And so I see your name, and I've never met you, but I thought somebody whose name comes up that often, I should probably at least
See what the hell's going on with that guy.
Yeah. Thankfully, you look better than your Facebook picture.
A little less makeup.
Yes,
today.
a little less, which I appreciate, by the way, and our audience. So.
Yeah.
I saw her on Facebook. On maybe Twitter. Did you just buy a new home recently?
I did, yeah. We bought a house in Somersworth.
Yeah. So, are you a
first
New
house.
Hampshire native?
I'm not, well, I mean, what is native?
No, that's a good.
Yeah. I grew up in New Hampshire, yeah.
Okay.
I was born in Cambridge, Mass. And in the 70s, during the bus boycotts and the race riots, my mother decided to move us all to the woods in Milton. And single mom, 5 kids.
Yep.
Moved to this small little town on the border of Maine, on a lake. Bought the house for $8,000. Yeah.
Good grief.
Yeah.
You can't even get a car for that.
Oh, no, yeah. And it just kind of, we just stayed in New Hampshire. There's always been this kind of DIY mentality in New Hampshire on every level. Crafters and skilled labor,
Right.
Carpentry and masonry. It was all kind of DIY and, a lot of working class, a lot of working poor. And that's kind of where art comes from. It takes some skill to be a carpenter, and it takes some skill to be an artist.
Yeah.
And they go hand in hand, And I just kind of fell into theater in New Hampshire. My mother's a classically trained musician.
What instrument?
Piano. Also a stride player.
What's that?
Like Scott Joplin. Scott Joplin?
Yes. Yes. The ragtime stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
So the left hand is doing the rhythm, and the right hand is doing the melody.
It's like the entertainer.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah. So she learned from the masters.
Wow.
Because she's an old lady. She kicked my butt for saying that.
Yes, she was.
And my brother is a classically trained violinist. He's also a jazz violinist, one of the best in the world.
Man, Thanksgiving at your house must be crazy.
Yeah, well, we're Irish, so yeah.
Oh,
It gets everything that comes with it.
Yeah.
So we spent a lot of time. We didn't have TV in Milton. When we did have TV, it was like Channel 2 and Channel 11, PBS.
Yeah.
There was no cable, there was no internet, there was none of that. So it was a lot of music and a lot of drama at home. And my mother was looking for... We ended up moving to Londonderry for a bit. My mom was great with real estate. She would buy a house and flip it, sell it.
It's one of the early flippers.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. She was brilliant. Brilliant. I don't know how she did it. 5 kids, single mom,
Yeah.
70s.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Inflation was terrible too during the 70s.
Oh, it was up and
Terrible.
down. Your gas was more in the
Yes.
70s than it is now.
Back in the 70s, when I was trying to get gas, I was in college. I had to go to school in Boston.
Yeah.
You could only get gas on certain days. Every other day,
Uh-huh.
a license plate was determining whether
Yeah.
an even or odd digit on it.
Yeah.
And
People
that was insane.
don't. People now they don't remember that. They don't remember how really bad it was.
Yeah, those were crazy days.
Yeah, and then we have crazy days now.
Yeah,
No
I
doubt.
know.
But we moved there, and there was a theater troupe, a children's theater troupe in Manchester, American Children's Theater, notorious. There's stories there that I'm not going to get into.
Dang it.
Yeah, that's for like the behind the scenes,
Okay.
the true crimes of New Hampshire
The
theater.
director cut.
Oh man, and I got the bug, and it just kind of continued from there. And we moved back to Milton. We always had Milton. Milton became like our home base, and then it was like our summer camp. But we were there all year long. And then Mom sold the houses, and we all moved back. And I went to an audition in Portsmouth for Oliver at Prescott Park.
Yeah.
I was like 13, I think, at the time. And
Last year.
Last year. And it just kind of snowballed. And Portsmouth, at that time, was a working class city. You had Pease Air Force Base there.
Oh, right.
So there was a large contingent of working class people, military people, non-government workers, lots of non-government workers. And it had an incredible underground art scene. And
Still does.
No.
No?
No.
You wouldn't call any of it underground?
No, not at all. Portsmouth, this is what happens. The artists come in and, make something cool and fun and attractive. It took a while because, there were years in there where there really wasn't anything downtown Portsmouth. You had Theater by the Sea, which I think was started in the 60s. Late 60s maybe early 70s. And that was not where Seacoast Rep is now. It was another small storefront on Ceres Street, I believe. And they were bringing in, renowned actors. When they moved to the Bow Street place, Kathy Bates played there. Ming Cho Lee, very famous designer, a movie designer, designed one of his first theatrical sets there.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really fascinating. I think Tom Celli was the artistic director, and I believe Harry Chapin's brother was an artistic director there too.
No kidding.
Yeah, I might be wrong about that. But there was this, these passionate artists who found this great, cool little port city, and it gave people a reason to go out. Because there really wasn't a reason to go out in downtown Portsmouth.
Mm.
There weren't many restaurants. There weren't many stores. And the stores that were there were all locally owned, small mom and pop type stores. In fact, when I got there and started working there as a young actor and a technician as well, because I needed to make a living, so acting
Go
doesn't
figure.
pay,
Really?
but the tech side does. There was a hardware store, Ace Hardware, downtown, and because of Theater by the Sea, they started stocking lighting gels and other theatrical
Oh,
things.
that's funny.
It's not funny.
Yeah.
Because they had to go to Boston to get things or order it. And then in the 70s, it wasn't that easy. It wasn't the huge business that the theater is now.
Yeah.
So I remember going in there, you know, I was 18, 19 years old, going in and getting gel for the lights, getting gaff tape.
Oh, my God.
You know, I remember when I discovered gaff tape.
Which is one of the greatest inventions ever.
Yeah,
made.
Really. It's not duct tape.
Right, that is
Difference.
the truth. Yeah, huge difference.
Yeah. And I just kind of just sat there and said, this is my home. This is my community. These are my people. This is what I want to do.
So you say your mom was classically trained. Your brother was classically trained. Are you? Where do you
I'm
fall on the
unclassically
spectrum?
trained.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I took a few lessons. But I had the lessons of my family. You know, we'd sit and play for hours. My mom would play. She'd play everything from Gershwin to Cole Porter to the Beatles to Bob Dylan. It still is. We still do it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, whenever I go to my mom's, she lives in Derry now. I always sit down at her piano, which she's going to give me, by the way, now that I have a house.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's a great little art.
Yeah. And we sit and play, and she's always trying to get me to play for her. I still owe her, actually, a house concert, because she gave to one of our fundraisers.
Yeah.
But there were also times in Milton where they had these back porch jamborees all over. And this is Milton when it was, most of the people there were there in the summertime, because it was a lake. And a lot of Massachusetts people would come up. You know, you could buy a cabin or a small ranch on the lake in Milton for $10,000. Yeah, and come up there in the summertime, spend the summer there, and then board it up and da-da-da. So, you know, in the fall, generally, when most people went home, we'd kind of hop all over the lake to these different cabins and houses, and 20, 30, 40, 50 people would show up with instruments and poetry. And
Dude, that is cool.
it was really, I think back on it, and it was really formative. You know, it really kind of set my course, you know, especially as a musician.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know really what I consider myself. People say, you're an actor. I'm like, no, I act. I love acting.
Yeah.
But I'd like to say theater artist, because I do all kinds of different theater. Or maybe, I don't know, a musician, theater artist.
I was going out looking, trying to figure out, based on the information I could find on you, like, you know, Instagram or Twitter. And I thought of you as an actor originally.
Sure.
And then I saw Bitter Pill, and I saw a lot of photos of you folks playing, and I thought, well, maybe...
Yeah, we've been playing that a lot.
Yeah, maybe he's not an actor. Maybe he's a musician who acts, or...
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on the month.
Yeah.
You know, November and December, I'm going to be an actor.
So that's on my notes, but we might as well go there because you jumped.
Sure.
So is it true you're in the Dolly Parton Christmas?
Yeah, Dolly Parton's
Playing Bob Crachit.
Playing Bob Crachit and Jacob Marley.
Okay, how'd that come about?
I did once the musical.
Yeah.
Glenn Hansard's. If you haven't,
I haven't seen it, but it's everywhere right now. I see it.
Well, it's.
Did you just do it at Seacoast Rep?
No, I did it in Boston.
Okay.
In the spring. It's Glenn Hansard, who is. He's not a mainstream artist, though I believe he won an Oscar for the movie, which he was in, but it was all his music, and it's based on his story with one of his collaborators. It's a love story, a classic Irish love story where the girl doesn't get the guy and the guy doesn't get the girl.
That's tragic.
I mean, that's Irish luck for you. Well, I was doing that in Boston in March and April, and it's a beautiful story. The music is just to die for. Glenn Hansard is one of the great contemporary songwriters. You probably heard of Falling Slowly. If you heard it, you recognize it. It was a big hit. I got a good review in the Boston Globe, which was like, oh, all right.
Always nice to have a good review.
Yeah.
And the Globe doesn't hurt.
No, it doesn't. You know, I mean, I could take or leave reviews, but the thing that I think it helps with in that setting is, you know, people recognize that and they go, oh, who's this guy?
Yes.
And so I got calls like, hey, what are you doing? Nothing, chilling in New Hampshire. Will you come down and audition for this? So the Huntington Theater called me, and there was things I couldn't do because my schedule, which was like, oh my God, I want to do something at the Huntington. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But the person, the associate producer there, it was casting Dolly Parton's new musical, and she's like, I'm doing Dolly Parton's new musical. I was like, you had me at Dolly. So I went down and auditioned. I killed the audition. I was really prepared and really excited, and I was like, oh, I hope I get something. And then they called, like, hey, do you want to do this?
So what did you audition for as opposed to what you got? Did you audition for Crachit?
I did. I also auditioned for the Scrooge. I was like, oh, all right,
yeah, go for that.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Grab that brass ring.
Yeah. But I read a lot for Bob, and it's a great part. The Jacob Marley, I just got the script and the music, and the music is so great. It's classic Dolly. It's classic Tennessee. There's dobro. There's a fiddle. Yeah, I'm really pumped.
I saw her Instagram video.
Yeah,
about it, and it's, when you hear her talking about it with her twang, and she calls it the Smoky Mountain Christmas or whatever.
Smoky Mountain Christmas Carol. Yeah,
you just know it's going to be like one of those Thomas Kincaid kind of come to life things.
Yeah, it all takes place in Tennessee, in the hills of Tennessee, in a mining town.
Of course it would.
And they've kind of expanded Jacob Marley's character. Jacob becomes a protagonist in the second act, and I was reading this, I'm like, oh my God.
Is it contemporized? Did they?
It's 1920s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not
Depression era.
Got ya.
Yeah. It's, you know, it really, there's a lot of Charles Dickens there, and you know, direct from the story, but then there's also this kind of working class, kind of rebellious feel to it. It's really, really interesting. Dolly wrote the music and lyrics.
This is brand new, right?
It's brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah, the music's all. Yeah, I know. It's exciting.
I'll bet you are.
I'm really, really excited.
I'll bet you are.
I'm excited to work with one of my heroes. Like, growing up,
Crazy.
I played 9 to 5. You know, I was a kid when the movie came out. And I mean, that cast alone.
Congratulations, Bob.
Thanks,
really.
man.
I mean
Thanks.
that.
Thanks.
I mean,
Thanks.
I'm almost envious. No, I am envious.
I'm envious. I'm just glad it's helping me pay my mortgage on my house.
Yeah. Okay, a nice side benefit.
Yeah, seriously. But to be able to work on a new piece and have it attached to like somebody like Dolly Parton is just.
Is she going to be? Does she do anything with it? Is she directing or? Is
She's not directing.
Okay. I imagine she'll be there once.
Oh yeah. She's part of the creative team. So, yeah, I know. I don't know how I'm going to handle that. I have a couple of Dolly Parton records that I'm going to bring to every rehearsal just in case. Because you know they probably won't tell us she's coming because you know she's a big star, man.
Yeah, big.
Like she wrote over 3,000 songs.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's an incredible number.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe more, yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, Google that, man. It's incredible. And she's written for everyone. You know, from Merle Haggard to Whitney Houston.
Can you imagine doing that? I mean,
yeah, I can. I can imagine the residual checks.
Honest, but yeah.
That's what I can imagine. But as a songwriter, like, I always been a huge fan, and I didn't realize what a fan I was until I realized, oh, she wrote this song. Oh, she wrote this song too.
That kind of stuff fascinates me.
Right?
You know, where you hear somebody singing, and you hear it for years and years and years, and then on some radio show or something, they say, this song, by the way, was written by...
Right.
And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? They gave up that song, gave it to someone else?
Well, I didn't... Yeah.
And it becomes the hit that it is?
Well, that's kind of writing, right? There are people out there who want to own it, but at the same time, like, stuff that I write, please do it. You know, this is for you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still Dolly's song.
Yeah.
But like, please do this. Prince did this. A lot of people don't realize the impact that Prince had on the music industry and artists.
I'm one of those people.
He was an amazing human being. You know, he wrote for. I mean, it's endless. Go back and look. I mean, we're talking like he worked with Fleetwood Mac. He worked with
I
Sinead
don't picture
O'Connor.
him working
Oh
with...
yeah. I think he's on Rumors. I think he played on Rumors on one of them. You know, it's like Dolly. Like I Will Always Love You, right? That song was the biggest song in the world when Whitney Houston did it, and it was already a huge hit when Dolly did it. And I don't know whose version I like better because they're so different.
I don't think I knew Dolly did it.
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah?
Oh,
of course
man.
it would be. Of course it would be, right.
That beautiful Dolly
I'm
alto.
gonna have to go listen to it.
Oh man. And Jolene, do you know the song?
Yeah,
Jolene?
yeah.
Jolene. Ah,
Yeah.
probably my favorite
That's typical Dolly.
Yeah. I'm trying to get my daughter to learn that song for Bitter Pill.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So, when do rehearsals start? Or have you already started?
No, we start second week in November.
Do you know anybody else in the cast?
I don't know anyone in the cast. Yeah, there's people from Nashville. There's people from New York.
What an experience. This is
man.
crazy.
The whole band is coming up from Nashville.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
This is insane.
I know. And they just sent me the script, so I'm like, I'm so busy right now. I'm producing a show that's opening the same week that we start rehearsals. My band, we're trying to get a new record done. We're gigging. I bought a house. The house thing kind of just was like, we got to buy a house, and it's taken up. Everything is all the time. It's gone.
Yeah. But that's a good thing. But
These are all great things.
this thing in Boston, now this is a whole nother level. I mean, there's like professional theater, like the Winnie or
Sure.
Jane's or the Seacoast. This is like bump up time.
Yeah.
This is getting into the big
And
leagues.
it's at the Colonial too.
Oh, I love the Colonial Theater.
One of the first shows I ever saw was there. My mother's first musical she saw there.
Oh my God.
She was telling me, she's like, I saw not Topol, who was a famous guy, did Fiddler.
Yeah, you're close.
What's his name? It wasn't Topol.
Yeah,
Topol did
two
the
theater
movie.
people, can't remember the
Yeah. It's she saw Fiddler there. She saw all the original tours that came in there. She saw stuff that was, Broadway bound. You know, Moulin Rouge just played there before it went to Broadway. You know, it's I don't have any kind of option if it goes anywhere, but if I do a good job, you know, I hope,
Yeah.
you know, if this show is successful.
So where are we going to be rehearsing?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
No idea. Somewhere in Boston.
All right.
Yeah. They'll send that to me soon, I hope. 'Cause
Yeah,
I really like to rehearse.
Kind of important. It's going to be a hoot when you go into that theater, right?
Man.
And you're backstage. I'm almost have goosebumps right now just thinking about it.
Oh, yeah.
Going into the dressing rooms, following all the catwalks and going to,
Yeah, and playing such an empathetic character, I was really surprised. I wasn't surprised that they liked my reading for Jacob Marley, but they were like, we want you to play Bob Crachit, and I was like, all right.
what an honor.
Yeah, and that I usually play the character roles, like, you know, the Jacob Marleys or, you know, the MCs in Cabaret. Like, I'm always that kind of quirky.
Yeah.
But to play like a father and this, sympathetic character, it's really nice that they saw that in me. And not just
Are you going to
this
have to make
quirky-
any changes to your looks? Do you get to keep your beard?
Well, I grew the beard out just in case.
Yep.
You know, it's really great for Bitter Pill because of the way the whole thing is. It's kind of modern hillbilly, you know, meets.
Yeah, the
I don't
adjectives
know.
for it are...
Yeah, I don't know. It's so funny.
Kind of
Everybody's
insane.
always asking us to describe our music, and I'm just like, just go to our webpage.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out. Yeah.
Well, that's going to be a trip.
Yeah.
How long does it play for?
It's a month. Yeah.
Okay.
8 shows a week. Yeah. Yeah. Once was like that.
Are you going to live down there?
No, I'm
Do
gonna
you have a
commute.
place? You are?
I've been trying to find a sublet, but when I did once, I commuted. It's kind of nice because I just get on the bus and I can have my script and get some work done.
Yeah.
You know, on the way down instead of fighting traffic and finding parking. Yeah.
Is once the first show that you big time down in Boston?
No,
Yeah,
no.
you've done
It's the
more?
first time in a while
Yeah.
that I did that. It was with the Speakeasy Stage Company, and I just want to say Speakeasy Stage. If you haven't seen anything there,
I know the guy. I know.
go down and see them. It's
Yeah.
it's a 200-seat black box theater, a big black box, right there in the South End at the Calderwood Pavilion. Huntington has a space there as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they do. It's a really cool little facility. But I've done shows in that facility probably 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
How do those connections come about? How do you go from... See, I tend to just be localized in my mind.
Sure. Well, that's fine.
And I'm
Yeah.
wondering, and so I'm always intrigued about how these things come about.
Ads. I'm always keeping an eye on auditions and what other theaters are doing. And I see something like once, I was like, I want to audition for this. I didn't know anybody there, just went in, I earned it. There's nothing like earning
That's true.
something.
That's very true.
Whether it's a part or a job or whatever it is.
Yeah. A lot to be said.
Yeah, and getting that gig, not because you're friends with someone.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Nepotism is a thing.
I've got a lot in the rules that way.
Yeah, and nepotism is a thing, but at the same time, when you're working with a group or community, wherever that is, it's always good to work with familiar,
Yeah.
but it also has to be good.
Right. Does help.
Yeah, and that happens on Broadway. People will work with a small group, and not everyone in that group is very good.
Right. Well, you get used and comfortable. Oh, you get used to them comfortable. with
Safe,
the ones that-
comfortable.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But Speakeasy's it's really amazing what they do. They tend to get the rights to these musicals and plays first because they want to premiere it in Boston first. And they bring in the stuff that you don't generally see. Plays that you probably have never heard of.
Okay.
Musicals you probably never heard of. The Room Upstairs. Ever heard of that one?
No.
Yeah. It's a crazy off-Broadway musical.
So they bring them in here and then they work them.
They bring them in and they
Take the
pack
mugs
them
out?
in.
Oh.
It's a real sign, I think, that audiences want more
Yeah.
than just the franchised musicals.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I really am. I wish we had more of it up here.
Well,
It's actually one of the reasons I kind of like the Players Ring.
oh, yeah. They take risks.
Yeah.
They do new stuff.
Yeah.
I've done lots there. All of my original work is premiered there.
Yeah. I think it's maybe how I really first found your name.
Yeah,
Saw your name
yeah. I've done terrible things there, and I've done wonderful things there.
Well, that's the whole point to trying the art, right? Is you don't know what's going to work. You
Right.
need to find out.
You need to work.
Yeah.
But my opinion on contemporary theater is things are becoming franchised.
Mm-hmm.
You have MTI, which is a publishing house. You have Samuel French, another publishing house. These are becoming franchises for Disney. And, Disney doesn't care about art.
Right.
Disney doesn't, all it cares about is its
It's the
franchise.
bottom line, right?
Yeah.
They have a,
Hey, their prerogative.
they're a business.
Their business is their material. The problem is everybody thinks, not everybody, but the general public thinks that theater is just musical theater now.
Mm.
They think it's Frozen. They think it's
Lion King.
Lion King.
Yeah.
And it's not.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of like saying all music is just rap.
Right.
It's not. And I love rap. I love hip hop. And I love musical theater. But that's just, a layer.
Yeah.
There's so many layers to theater and performance that I think is getting kind of lost because we can make a lot of money if we do Lion King Jr. Well, we won't make a lot of money if we do this great original children's story that my mom wrote. You should do the original story that your mom wrote,
Right.
even if it's bad, even if it's not good, because anyone can do Lion King Jr. Not anyone can create something from scratch. And that's, to me, that's important.
And it encourages other people to do it.
Yeah.
And so you're not stuck in that formula.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When you do all of these franchised musicals, anyone can do that. And what happens is everybody says, oh, this is what theater is, and this is what we do.
Yeah.
And it's easy because all you have to do is get the rights. Everything's done for you. All the PR is done for you. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
And that makes for lazy art.
Yeah. I think a lot of people forget, or maybe they don't even know, how much work goes into actually writing and then producing a play.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which is why I'm really glad for places like the Players Ring
Mhm.
and the Hat Box,
Mhm.
where these.
Oh, Hatbox, yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, and these people can come out and they're not risking a lot.
No.
Right? And hopefully, if things go well, they might sell a night out, which thrills them to death.
Absolutely, yeah.
And they get a piece that they had written, and they get to produce the thing. And again, it gets back to your point of view, which they earned it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, good or bad.
It doesn't matter if it's good or bad.
Right.
Because it's subjective.
That's a great point about art, right? Yes.
I mean, to me, art is a creation of something that wasn't there before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can recreate something. You know, you can recreate, the Rocky Horror Show. But you're not going to be able to create the Rocky Horror Show.
Right. Yeah.
And I think what gets lost is a lot of people use art or anything as community, as their social life. And, art is supposed to be expression of how we feel. People do theater to express how they feel without having to dig into their own actual monologue, where they can use their art to express that. And I think that's more difficult than, sitting and having a conversation about politics. Is easy. It's real easy. It's harder to take your art and say, this is how I feel, and let other people feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of thinking and using your brain as a thinking thing, information, knowledge, all that.
Right.
You're using your art and your emotion and the music and the words to make other people feel and remember who they are and why we're here.
Yeah, I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't write music and I don't even play music. One of the things that really fascinates me about a song that touches you is that it came from somebody else's heart first.
Oh, yeah.
The pain or the love or the sentiment that's buried in there had to come out from that artist, be put down on a piece of paper and then introduced to music, and we get to share that on a good piece. You know what I mean, I really have a hard time with like the B-side of stuff that just, we got to have a B-side, so can you just write something,
Right.
Because that's just junk then, but the good stuff, the stuff that really moves a person, fascinates me, because I know some artist had a need that had to get released.
Yeah. They call it passion, right?
Sure.
And the definition of passion is suffering. That's why they say like Passion of Christ or the Passion of whatever.
Right.
It's a suffering. It's like your body you're dehydrated and your body needs water.
Yeah.
What do? You drink water. Your body tells you, I need this water. And artists and people who consume art, it's the same thing. We all have this suffering inside, and it's not always like, I'm suffering.
Yeah, no, right.
It's a feeling,
right?
And it's hard to describe,
right?
But we are moved to do that, and that's the thing too. People always saying, people go to movies and see theater and music to escape, or an escapist society. That's why we have all this. We go to these things, and people don't. That's not an escape. People go to be moved. Whether that be to cry, to laugh, or to not like it and say, this is bad. You were moved to say, this is bad. And it reminds us why we are human. It reminds us that we are a compassionate beings. And even the hardest hearts are touched. Yeah. Whether they'll admit it or not is one thing. But the power of the shared experience of art and music, there's a reason. I was thinking about that on the drive over here, that theater is an ancient art form. So is music and visual art. And it's amazing how it's stood the test of time and how it's transformed and evolved. But the fundamental is still there. It's you and I sharing this experience of expressing an opinion, an emotion, philosophy, even if we disagree.
Right. Yes, right. it's universal in
It
that
is,
way.
yeah.
There's something about the DNA of the human spirit that,
Yeah.
that music does things for me that theater can't.
Oh,
And I don't play, and I
Amen
don't,
to that. Yeah.
and I don't read it, but there's something. There are times when my soul is moved. I mean,
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are.
Every day it happens to me. Listening to music.
I can't. There's songs I play over and over
Yeah.
and over just because there's a release. There's something. It's touching something inside that
Yeah.
I can't even scratch myself.
You know, it's vibrations. You know, metaphorically and literally, music creates, literally vibrations in the air. And even people who are deaf can feel those vibrations. It's moving through you.
Good point.
And it we are vibrating people. I mean,
It's all electric.
It's all electric. It's all wavelengths
Right,
and all that.
right.
And when it tunes in, it's so psychic.
Yeah.
It's so
It
universal.
moves me like nothing.
I've been listening to Doc Watson for the last week.
I don't know
In a
Doc
loop.
Watson.
Oh, my friend, Doc Watson, bluegrass,
I can't write that
godfather of bluegrass, and folk music, but a genre of his own.
Yeah.
Him and his son, who died, I think, in a car accident at a young age. Incredible finger picker.
Yeah.
Yeah, and plays all that down home stuff.
I'm gonna have to, all right.
You definitely should check out Doc
All
Watson.
right.
But I've been listening to that on a loop. My daughter, who has got this incredible musical taste, I've always liked Doc Watson, but she's got like a portrait on her wall.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wow, that's a great appreciation. All right.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to some more, and now I just can't stop listening to him. He's
Yeah.
incredible. Because folk music, bluegrass, all that down home stuff. There's a lot of crap, like anything.
Well, that's my point. Yeah.
Like anything.
Yeah.
A lot of crap in theater.
They just
a lot of
feel-
crap
right,
in music.
right.
But there's those standouts. That you're just like, I
Yes.
can listen to this on a loop.
Yes. You just want to throw on a set of headphones.
Yeah.
Let your soul come out of your body.
Yeah.
And go to wherever place it needs to go.
Yeah.
And just I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm there with you. Gosh.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. That's good stuff right there. That's good stuff. I wanted to congratulate you as well. You're nominated last year. Was it last year? For Best New Act?
Oh yeah, the New England Music
Oh
Awards.
yeah, you look at me like, what? What are you
I
talking
don't know
about?
going
What's
on.
that little
It's these
verb?
awards things.
Yeah, those. Yeah.
I'm not a big awards guy.
But again,
Yeah. No, it's just nice to be.
It is.
Hey, look, these guys are new. They're
it
cool.
is. Yes.
Yeah,
To
I
be
dig that.
recognized.
I dig that. But giving out awards for
Well,
art.
that's because you're an artist, and your artists don't care. They
Yeah.
get their head down. They're
Well,
plowing.
I care more about people buying my art. I'm always like, thank you.
You're supposed to be a starving artist. You're
I
not
am
supposed-
a starving artist. That's the problem. I need to buy some food and pay my mortgage. I'm always like, oh, thank you for this. Is there a check? I was told there was a check. Seriously,
Or
like,
can I sell this on eBay?
That's what I'm
and
saying.
get a
Like,
check?
instead of spending the $10 on this award, give me $10. I'll pay for my gas.
a copy for the
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I totally get why people love these
Well, we do
little
that as
arts
humans.
awards.
We attach awards to everything.
Yeah, and the awards, I don't know, like curmudgeon, I guess, when it comes to it. I'm very appreciative of everyone who's ever, like, awarded me with things. It's really sweet. I just wish there was another way to do that without creating competition. I don't believe in healthy competition in art. It's not capitalist. Art is not capitalist.
That's a good way to look at it.
It's an important part of our human condition. What do they say? Earth without art is just
Okay.
Yeah. Art has survived every type of economy.
Yeah. Well, again, it's in our DNA.
Yeah.
I mean,
it doesn't
you got
matter
guys,
where you are, man.
Right. You got guys that are so determined to get out from inside them what they're going to carve it into marble.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They can't just pick up clay.
Yeah.
They got to go find a
You think
marble
Michelangelo
rock.
was like, thank you for this
Yeah,
award.
right. He's got something so inside, he's going to go paint it on a ceiling.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's art.
Yeah.
I mean, that's you are in art. You have, I think of like Van Gogh, you know, and you just got to get this thing out.
I gotta cut my ear off. And paint something.
I'm gonna do it right.
But there was healthy competition with those artists. I think of Matisse and Picasso, right? I saw an exhibit 20 years ago in Austin, Texas, and it was Matisse and Picasso. And I think it was during World War II that they kind of started doing competition. So Matisse would do a painting and send it to Picasso. And Picasso was like, oh yeah? Well, how about
Just
this?
to gig him?
Oh yeah, back and forth. Matisse would do this bronze sculpture, send it to Picasso. And Picasso's like, oh yeah? Well, how about this? Back and forth. So that's healthy competition, but it's not for money. Mm-hmm. It's not for notoriety. It was because they were moved to.
Yeah.
You know, it's a hard balance. You know, because people want to make a living at making art.
Yeah, and well,
I would love to make a living.
I know,
making art.
I know. But it's funny because an artist has to do what they do.
Yeah.
They have to do it.
I know.
I mean, whether they're getting paid or not, because there's nothing else they will do.
Yeah.
They will find a way to do that thing.
And I've done that, and there have been some sacrifices.
Right.
And a lot of sacrifices, relationships.
Well, you hear these stories all the time of these tortured artists. You know, they have to do their thing, and it costs them everything.
Yeah.
Their family, their finances. You know.
Yeah. But you're giving my biography right now.
Okay. Because I couldn't find it online, so I was making it up.
Yeah. No, it's it's I look back and I see being an artist as like a calling. You know, priest, minister, whatever.
That's true.
It's a calling for them that they feel that they need. This is what their lot in life is, and they're going to preach the word. And I kind of feel that art is that way.
Yeah.
I think art might be older than religion. That's just my opinion.
They're pretty close, if they're not.
You know, I feel like religion is just another form of government. Art was never a government. Art was always a form of expression, right back to cave paintings and telling stories by the fires. And that's ultimately like in theater and music, too, and storytelling. You know, reminding us where we come from, reminding us where we are, reminding us where we're going, without the politics, without the economies, without all of that. Even though art is political, whenever you make art, it's political.
It will eventually.
Always, right? But you don't have if it's done well, you know, you don't have the on the nosy, you know, bias.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all of my work as a writer is very biased to my opinion, but I try to leave it up to the audience.
Yeah, you're not foisted on.
No, that's very. Brecht did that. Brecht was very in your face, very obvious, very political, and of course, in a time that was kind of scary. You know. That he called epic theater, where he would literally talk to the audience.
Well, even Shakespeare was guilty of that, right? Making fun of the government at the time.
Well, yeah, I mean, there was a line.
There
was a line. I mean, he couldn't say God, so that's why you have Jove in there. There was no swearing. Women couldn't play women parts in his time.
Yeah.
So there was a line.
Yeah.
But there's definitely some.
Yeah.
There's a lot of politics in there.
I know.
Especially in the histories.
Yes.
But it's poetic.
Okay.
You know, so.
But that could be a way just to circumvent being obvious, you know.
Well, that's art, isn't it?
But yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Circumvent the obvious.
Yeah.
Or do the obvious. You know, put the obvious out there, make it really, really, really obvious.
The court jester.
Yeah.
In this case, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
I think our court jesters now are comedians.
Yeah. Good point.
Satirists.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they should be. I mean, we need that outlet. You know.
Yeah, it's getting dangerous.
Yeah. Well.
And it's getting dangerous on every level, both conservative and not conservative.
Yeah. It's a crazy world.
It's great. It's always been crazy.
Yes. Because humans are involved. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Because humans are involved.
Well, you know, people say to me now, like, you know, oh, the world's never been like this, and I'm like, 2 words.
Oh.
Genghis Khan.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of Asia is descended.
World War.
Yeah, most of Asia is descended from Genghis Khan. So what does that tell you? That's crazy.
It was prolific.
Prolific, murderous, plunderer.
Right.
You know, it was horrible.
Well, you go through any of the. I mean, really. I don't want to get political about it, but
we can get political. We're artists.
Well, but you can go Stalin. I mean, you can just Mao. You just go through them all. I mean, come on.
Well, and what's fascinating is under all of these regimes, as I said before, art has endured. It doesn't matter where in the world, what economy, what government. You cannot stop the artists.
Yeah.
The play that I'm working on now, it's called We Are Pussy Riot.
Yep.
And it's about
Did I see that
the 3... Yeah, it's by Barbara Hammond. It was written in 2015. It's a really obscure, crazy little play.
Yeah, I think I saw the pictures. That woman out there. With,
Oh, yeah.
with
Yeah. So 3 women were arrested in Russia in 2012. 12 years into Putin's 12 years into Putin's reign.
Yeah.
He's now been president of Russia for 19 years. During that time, they were having a hard time doing any kind of theater, especially political theater. So they were they're not a punk rock band. A lot of people think they're a punk rock band, but they're artists, and they do performance art. They do theater, but they do political theater, activist theater. So they went into the Christ Church in Moscow and did a song called the Punk Rock Prayer. The Punk Rock Prayer, Virgin Mary chased Putin away. Right, that's the English translation. And they were arrested, but they weren't arrested there. They were arrested after the video went onto YouTube. And they spent 2 years in jail. Jeez. For doing a 45-second song in a church. Right? What's fascinating is that these 3 women were so dangerous to the government of Russia that they literally tried to kill some of them, poisoning them, assassinating people. Some of their troops have been assassinated for doing theater.
Really?
Yeah. For doing theater, for protesting. And we're talking just calling out their leaders and saying, you know, we don't live in a constitutional government anymore. We live in church state. This play is about the trial. It's also a 1,000-year history of Russia. And what's awesome is the play ends with a Chekhov quote. And some of our modern acting now comes from Russia. Everything we know about acting and theater is based on Stanislavski.
Right.
And the change from the Renaissance era of acting, the melodrama, to, you know, really what they call suspending disbelief, which I don't really subscribe to that. But it's being in the moment and being truthful and honest with the character. And that all comes from Russia. And it's fascinating that the politics of Russia and the art in Russia have always kind of been separate. They love their art. Even in the communist times, in the times of the czars, they loved their art, but it was only like, you can only do this, while all this underground stuff was happening. And this play, We Are Pussy Riot, kind of covers that whole gambit in a kind of complete Shakespeare kind of way. Do you know the complete works of William Shakespeare abridged?
Yeah.
It's kind of done like this.
Oh.
And in Russia, they have this.
Is it a comedy? Doesn't sound like a comedy.
Oh no, it's a comedy.
It is?
Absolutely.
Really?
It's a political.
Serious.
Oh, there's some seriousness in it, but it's a riot.
Okay.
It really is a riot. But the play itself is. The Pussy Riot consider themselves a Eurodivi, which, and I don't know if I pronounced that right. My Russian's terrible. We have a Russian.
Like I was going to call you.
Yeah, we have a Russian person helping us out. One of the cast members did Russian studies, spent time there. Yeah. Eurodivi in English is called Holy Fools. and there's something in the Bible that talks about the holy fools that would spread the word of God, and they would say things that you're not supposed to say, and not do ritualistic things, but be these fools, kind of like the court jester, where you're allowed to say certain things because, well, that's who you are, and that's what this troupe is. They just they would show up to things and do a performance wherever it was and use whatever they had at hand. And so we're kind of doing that with this play. We're just going to show up to the venue, which is going to be at 3S in Portsmouth.
Nice venue.
3S, oh, it's great. I was there last night. We're just going to show up, and of course we've been rehearsing for 6 weeks, but we're going to use whatever we find there. This is, a block, a bench.
So there's some improv apparently in this.
There's a lot of improv in this. It's scripted, definitely scripted, but it's real. For me, it's you don't have to have the big, gorgeous sets. You don't have to be a spectacle. You just have to tell a good story.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. Go back to the cave time days, and they would sit around a fire and tell stories. That's where I first learned to play music. Sitting around a campfire, sitting around a fireside, an old cottage, people telling stories and singing songs, and the songs tell stories. And that's kind of the whole approach to this piece. And I think it's really important politically, because everything, this play was written before the 2016 election. So the parallels.
Is it prescient then, huh?
Man, it's incredible.
When does it go up?
On November 7th, 8th, and 9th. That's it. Yeah. I may take it somewhere else later.
Yeah.
I doubt it. I'm kind of getting done with producing. Costs a lot of money. I'm gonna work. I don't mind the work.
You put your own money up for that?
Yeah. I don't have any money.
I know.
I crowdfund once in a while.
You find cans along the road?
You find cans. I get donations. There's still, I feel like there's a renaissance happening with art, especially now because of the discourse and the big chasms between cultures and ideologies. Great art comes from that. So I kind of like, in the play, one of the characters says, hey, maybe we need these tough guys, these Putins, these Trumps. Maybe we need them to remind us. And for me, that's definitely the case, because great art comes from oppression. And great things come from oppression. Yeah. Or recognizing oppression.
What gets us out of our laissez-faire attitude?
I think it's, I mean recognizing oppression, because the oppression has always been there. We just kind of put ourselves in a bubble and said, no, that doesn't exist. Racism doesn't exist. Yeah, it does.
Right.
It's been prevalent for a long, long time.
Yeah.
I've seen some amazing music and the plays that are coming out. And even on Broadway, like there's some. What's great is a huge renaissance of plays on Broadway. You ever play like Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime that played?
Never heard of it.
It's so good. It's based on a children's
I never
book.
get to New York. This is I'm
it's making the regionals. That's all right. It's making the Broadway is just it's a billboard.
Yeah, but there's all this stuff going on.
There's some really, really great work. It's Curious Incident of the Dog won a couple of Tonys, but it ran on Broadway for more than a year, which is unusual for a play. I saw it and I was just blown away. It's great storytelling and very prescient, very important. And I see that kind of popping up now. You have Theater Kapow. Do you know Theater Kapow?
Yes, I know them well.
I'm just in awe of the work they've been doing.
I know.
Important theater that they're really smart and really compassionate and really thoughtful people. And there's an audience for that.
I know.
And these Disney franchised places don't seem to understand that. And I think a lot of times with these Disney franchise shows, it's really just people trying to make money. They want to work with children, they want to do theater, they also want to make money. And you can make money doing it.
There is no doubt in my mind what Disney's, even from the beginning, look, I know you can say that, I just wanted to build this amusement park for the kids. It's a bottom line thing. You know that that's going to produce ticket sales. You just know it.
Well, I think back to the Gladiators. You remember
Right,
Russell
Red
Crowe?
Circus.
Are you
Yeah.
not entertained?
Right.
That's how I feel about entertainment. When people say to me, "Oh, Bill, you know, you can't. Not everybody can be an artist." I'm like, "Yeah, actually, everybody
right.
is an artist.
Well, right.
They just haven't done it." Entertainment. I'm done with entertainment. Entertainment is now running our country. It's been running our country for a while.
Yeah.
You know, the current administration is just you know, a symptom of entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not the first entertainer president we've had.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I'm not entertained.
Yeah.
You know, I'm over these giant franchised movies, giant franchise shows.
Yeah.
I'm bored. It's boring to me.
So what are you looking at? What intrigues you now then? So you don't even go to the movies then, I would assume, for the most part.
I don't. No, once in a while I'll go to a movie. I love the shared experience of a movie. I love the shared experience. Anyway.
Did you go out to the festival, the film festival in Portsmouth? Do you go to things like that?
I go hang out. I have friends that are involved.
Yeah.
I have friends that made films. I missed this year because we were gigging. We were gigging that whole week.
Yeah.
But I don't generally go to movies anymore. I'll go to see indie movies. I'll go to see. What I really like is, you know, my neighbors, and you know, the people I know making the little art that they do. That it's special to me. You know, last night I went to see Fly Spinach Fly, Heaven's Murgatroyd, old bands from the '90s from Portsmouth. Portsmouth had a huge music scene in the '90s. The Seacoast. The reason why the Seacoast is because of this music scene, this art scene that was created. I was talking about earlier,
Mm-hmm.
And seeing these bands last night reminded me why I went to see them play in a basement in the '90s, in the '80s.
Mm-hmm.
Why I went out in the middle of a field in Maine somewhere to see these guys, because it's grassroots, it's homegrown. And it's honest and genuine and authentic.
That's what we were talking about earlier, right?
Right? Honesty. Because that's acting.
Yeah, right.
Acting is honesty.
Right.
You have to play the part with sincerity.
Yeah.
If you play it with, unless that's the character,
Right.
you're not going to move people.
Right.
But seeing this DIY, like, it's very punk rock.
Mm.
You know, punk rock was created as a fashion. A lot of people don't realize that.
I know.
It was kind of anti-establishment fashion because the poor kids in England couldn't afford the nice, cool mod clothes, so they went and created their own fashion, and out of that came the DIY music. Well, I can't afford to take lessons. I can't even afford a guitar, so I'm going to go steal this guitar instead of punk rock band. And that's what I love. I love going to see, you know, some dude playing his guitar in some obscure coffee shop in the middle of nowhere because it's real.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it wasn't created by a corporate entity. It wasn't created with a bottom line in mind. You know, there's nothing wrong with money.
Yeah.
Like Dorothy Parker said, you know, I loathe most rich people, but I feel like I'd be really good at it. And I'm the same. Dorothy Parker's one of my heroes.
I know
But that's, you know, that's what moves me is that honest and authentic, and even if it's not good.
So
know?
2 stories here. I was down in Boston, I think last month, and I'm walking through the park, the
Commons.
Commons, yeah. And there's this Asian gentleman in the middle of the park
Yeah.
playing this, what looked like, to me, I know it's not, but it looked like a broken violin. It had one string.
Oh yeah, I can't think of the name of it. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Fascinating. And he was just
He's
going
killing
to town.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a little speaker hooked up. He wasn't even looking for money.
Yep.
He just wanted to go out in the middle of the Commons and play this.
And express
And it was
himself.
gorgeous. I
Yeah.
mean, one string, and it just resonated
Yeah.
through the Commons. It was beautiful.
Yeah. That's magic.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's magic.
We could hear it like on the other side of the park, and you were like, your spirit was trying to attach to it like a
Yeah.
magnet.
Yeah.
Where is that? Where is that?
Yeah.
The other thing is, I was in Portsmouth at the festival just a week or so ago.
Sure.
There's a guy sitting on one of these side roads, right, where you're going from one street to another, sitting there playing some little instrument, happy as a pig.
Was it the dulcimer? Was he playing the Hammers?
Yes, it might have been.
Yeah, he's been playing
Against the wall there?
Yeah, he's been playing Portsmouth for
That's crazy.
30 years.
He just
He's
sits
amazing.
there. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you're just attracted to it.
Well, and I don't remember his name, but he plays for the joy of spreading music.
Well, you
And
get
the
that.
Word. That's the word, joy. I think that's the word I'm kind of on lately, because I have this new feeling in me that I haven't had. It's called joy. And I didn't
Well, if I got a
recognize-
role in Dolly Parton's play,
Yeah.
I'd be joyful too.
Sure. All of this stuff.
I'm like,
No, absolutely. All of this stuff has culminated to that.
Yeah.
I've been making the right choices.
now you're an overnight success.
Well,
after 40 years.
Yeah, after 40 years. Yeah, I don't know about overnight success. It's the joy, you know. People ask me to describe Bitter Pill's music, and I say murder, death, and joy.
Interesting combination.
A dark joy, because you can get joy out of doing this really, like as an actor, you know, you do get joy out of playing McMurphy or Macbeth. You get joy out of playing these dark, crazy characters. Why? Where does that come from? And I think that joy comes from recognizing the expression of those characters and of you as an artist. I think that's where it comes from. And music, for me, I'm very open-minded with music. I love all music. I even love bad music, so-called bad music.
What has been the most impactful music on you? If you said you know,
That's a good question.
This is deep within me. This is has had the most influence on what I do.
I don't think there is one type of music.
Yeah.
There are artists that I would, like I said, listen to it on a loop. I don't think there's one music. I mean, the violin and the cello, which I play the cello in Bitter Pill. I play it like a bass.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have a strap. Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy. People are always like, what? But a good cello player, a great cello player, and like my brother plays the violin, and I'm just like, I melt. You know?
Does he play with you?
No. Unfortunately. He lives in Western Mass, so it's like 2.5 hours away. I'm going to get him to play on our next record. Though he's played on quite a few of my tunes. Actually, last year, I was the artist in residence for the Portsmouth Symphony Orchestra.
Really?
Yeah, right? That was cool. The final show, I did a song I wrote called The Ghosts of Broadway, which is a song I wrote for a show in New York. It's all about the ghost light and the history behind the ghost light. But it's also written about a character that was in the show. And my brother did the recording, played the violin, wrote the violin part, and then we did it with the orchestra, the 80-piece orchestra, and he came out and
How
played.
sweet was that?
Oh, to be able to sing and play with my brother and this orchestra, it was heavenly. And I don't believe in heaven, but I get it. It was.
Well, you
heavenly.
found it.
I found it, man. And he improvised the solo in the middle of it.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was beautiful. And I think the violin is really what speaks to my soul. So whenever I hear a violin or like somebody fiddling, I love to fiddle.
Yeah?
You know the difference between a fiddle and a violin?
No.
It's just the way you play it. That's it. Fiddle is violin is. That's the only difference.
Same instrument.
Same instrument. Yeah. I think that violin is probably the most impactful in me. Yeah. Maybe piano too. I'm originally a piano player.
Piano can do that to me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the thing about the piano too is it's such a mass, you know, and you got to have the right size and the right person building that piano and the right everything, the right wood, like violin. But the mechanics of it is just, it's always been fascinating to me.
Yeah.
And I love being able to translate, you know, the passion,
There you go
all of
again.
that
Yeah.
into the hands, and the hands go into the piano, and the piano resonates.
Yeah. I'm not enamored with a lot of the busyness, you know, like the big, when you've got flourishes and all that. I love the simplicity. I'm married
I'm
to
the same.
simplicity.
I'm the same. Yeah.
There are times when I can hear a piano in a song, and it's just simple tones that it's playing.
Yeah.
And it just reaches me. Elton John can do that too.
Oh, Elton. I love all of them.
There's times he's singing, and in the background you can hear. Yeah.
So easy. Right.
And it just grabs you.
Yeah.
Just grabs
Yeah.
you.
I'm that same way. I'm not like a, I'm not a super diddler.
Yeah.
I can do a little bit. It's not something that's not my jam.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, I'll sit and listen to Bill Evans or, Duke Ellington or any of the great jazz players any day. But like you said, it's that simplicity that has a complicated, meaning behind it. That just, I don't know, it pulls me right in.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It's more natural. It pulls me. There's something.
It's the melody.
Yeah.
It's always for me. It's always the melody, because any of those jazz pieces is based on a melody. It's not based on how you.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on the melody of the song, and the melody of a song is the lyrics, and it's not. I don't mean lyrically. I don't mean words.
Mm-hmm.
The expression of the tone and what that music is saying in that melody, and when you add words to it, it just.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Puts it over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the same with it's fun, the play I'm directing now. I use music as an example because there's a certain flow to language, and language is musical. We do speak in meter. That's what Shakespeare. You have iambic pentameter. You have the different meters in poetry. That's how we speak. We generally speak very close to couplets and.
That's why we invented the comma.
The comma, punctuation is very important in Shakespeare. And I kind of point that out in this play, actually, the other day, was look at the punctuation here, right? At the end of this sentence, there's a hyphen before the other actor speaks. They thought it was continuing the thought. But the reality is, you're not. You're stopping the thought. You don't put a period on it, you just kind of stop the thought.
Midstream.
Midstream. Then the other person comes in with their line that has a period. Punctuation is important. It's hard to figure it out without actually having the playwright there.
Yeah.
But once you get into the rehearsal and you start seeing the punctuation, you're like, oh, okay, this is what this is.
Yeah.
It's really important.
It is very important.
Just like music. And a piece of music, punctuation is important. Because you have rest here, hold here, louder, softer, build, descend, all that's written in. And it's all punctuation of music. And the actors are like,
Yes.
I'm like, you just got a degree in theater. What are they teaching? What are they teaching in these colleges?
Apparently not punctuation.
Not punctuation, man. It's important. Yeah.
It's very important.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
Yeah.
So I have two other things. One, which we kind of touched on already, was the player's ring.
Sure.
You do a lot out there, right? I mean,
I have, yeah. I haven't been doing anything this year. Probably not doing anything next year. I just don't have anything ready, and I don't really have I don't want to produce anything anymore. If somebody else wanted to produce my stuff, especially the new stuff I'm working on, sure.
When you say the new stuff you're writing?
Yeah.
You're writing plays? Yourself?
Plays?
Or production? I mean, what?
I'm writing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm at a transition. I'm going to be 50 next year. I'm kind of in a transition of theater and music. And the stuff we're doing with Bitter Pill, which started at the Players Ring. It started as Bitter Pill, the songs of Billy Butler as conceptualized by the Madmen of Oopsie Daisy Inc. And we've had a kind of a fight over this, because I'm like, guys, this is my band Bitter Pill. The show was the songs of Billy Butler as conceptualized. So there's been a kind of a little fight over that.
Interesting.
Yeah, no contracts were signed, so
it's
all mine anyway. I wrote it all, I produced it all. But with Bitter Pill, and it's because of the ring, I was able to go there and do this and experiment. And then we did Titus Andronicus Musicus.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was awesome. And that's how Bitter Pill kind of started playing out at the bars, because we made a record based on that production and sold a whole bunch. Yeah, people went nuts for it, and they were like, when are you going to play out? Go come play this bar. So a year ago, we played our first gig as a band, and starting in January of last year, we were booked every weekend.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So, but we combine a little Shakespeare. We put a little Emily Dickinson there, a little Edgar Allan Poe, my original stuff, my daughter's original stuff. I do this song called "Tom Waits for None." It's a comment.
Tom Waits?
What's that?
Is it based on Tom Waits?
It's inspired by Tom Waits, yeah, and it's about Tom, but at the same time, Tom Waits is a huge influence. I came to him later in life. My wife was actually, no, you need to sit down and listen to Tom. And I did. I was just again, I listened to him nonstop for 2 years. That's all you heard was Tom Waits.
He can just breathe and almost make me cry.
He's amazing. An amazing storyteller.
Oh, my God.
Well, and that's all put on, that's an act. That's not his voice.
What?
Oh, you listen to his early stuff. Yeah. It's an act.
So I fell
He's a
in love with
playwright. He's a playwright.
I didn't know that.
He wrote
Oh.
3 musicals, 3 or
Jeez.
4 musicals. But he is inspired. I wrote a play last year. We produced a play I wrote last year with music called the Brecht Tones. And it was kind of a little mixture of Bertolt Brecht and Tom Waits. Beat poetry. We had all of characters, 2 characters, 3 characters. Death, this daughter that this musician poet didn't know he had, and then we had poets come in each night. Didn't know what they were going to say, but they had a theme, and each night they came in and did it.
How difficult is that?
It was actually really easy. It was awesome. Jazz band. They played my stuff, and we improvised behind them. It was awesome. And that's kind of where I'm going with Bitter Pill. Is we're a band, but we're also an ensemble. We produce theater. We produce music. And I'm finding that the storytelling, the song "Tom Waits for None" is a storytelling kind of song, where you can come in the chorus and everybody can sing together.
We get out our mugs and just...
Yeah. Tom waits for none, Tom waits for no one. Everybody sings along, but it's a comment on Generation X, millennials, what's going on in my community, and it's satirical. But the connection... See, I played in bands for a long time as well.
Mm-hmm.
The connection is usually, there's a wall there with the bands, just like there is in the theater. And I don't believe in fourth wall in the theater. There is no fourth wall. You have to listen to the audience. The audience is another character in your play, and you have to listen to them. You have to pay attention to them.
Yeah.
You have to hold for laughs, right?
That's exactly right.
And you have to hold for emotions. I know as an actor, when I've done shows where there's an intense moment, the audience, I can feel the audience.
Absolutely.
You can feel that
That's right.
emotion in the room, and you hold for a beat, maybe a beat longer, because you feel like the audience isn't ready for
They're
the next
absorbing
line.
something.
Right, exactly. What that kind of happened with bands is that there's a wall where the stage and we sing at you.
Mm-hmm.
The successful bands crowd surf. They're out there,
Right.
with the audience, and that shared experience is important. Combining that in a theatrical and a music way in a bar where people are coming to just drink or watch their sports team on TV. The point is to sell drinks.
Mm-hmm.
The point is to make money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I get that. And I'm about that. Let's drink. Let's be merry. Let's laugh. Let's cry. Let's try not to get arrested tonight. But I get up there and I do this kind of storytelling thing. And we start our show generally with Ariel's speech, first speech from The Tempest. Hail, brave masters. Hail. I can't remember it. Tomer does it, one of our actor musicians. The whole place stops. And he doesn't do it on a microphone. He's got this booming voice, this guy. And he does this speech. And the whole place stopped. They're all like, what's this guy doing? Is that Shakespeare? What's happening? Here we are doing Shakespeare in a bar. Here we are doing Shakespeare in Panucci's. Right? Underground, stinky bar.
Yeah.
And then we go right into the music. And there's something there. There's a there that I'm starting to discover. Like, we can do theater anywhere.
Do you get any pushback from the audience? I mean, if they're there to watch?
No, they're not there to watch. They're there. This is the thing. You don't go to a sport. You don't go to see the Patriots to watch. You go to participate.
There's a connection.
But you're also participating in the moment.
Right. Well, that's yeah.
You go to a theater and you see a show. What do you do when the lights go out and it's going on to the next scene? What do? You applaud. You applaud. You laugh. That's participating in the process. Because without that audience, there's no art.
Right.
You know, doing Shakespeare in a bar. A buddy of mine has a theater company out on the Seacoast called Seven Stages Shakespeare, and they do readings of Shakespeare in bars. They call it Shakespeare.
I see that.
Yeah. What's funny is Shakespeare hated beer.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, it was for those savages, the colonialists in America. yeah. And I gave him such shit about that. He loved it. It is awesome, and people dig it. And you can go to the bar, get a drink. You can talk with your friend, and you can pay attention to what's going on. And I'm finding now, like, what's that play? Hadestown. You know Hadestown?
I know of it.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, but I know.
I can't. Her name escapes me now, but she's a folk artist, and she's been playing this music for a decade, touring all over the world, developing this piece in bars, in clubs, in theaters, and it developed into this incredible musical. And I realized this the other night when we were playing. We were in the middle of doing something, and there was some spoken word in there, and the audience is enraptured with it because it's just something they don't see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially in a bar.
Yeah.
You know? And I feel like because bars and restaurants have become like, I don't know what you would call it. They're like the Starbucks. They're on every corner now. Everybody has their own little, gastropub or whatever it is. That's the new gallery for me. That's the new theater. That's the new place to try to develop something and evolve. And I feel like that's what's happening to me now as an artist. I'm starting to evolve a little bit into more than just, the proscenium.
Yeah.
More than just reciting lines. I really feel more connected to art than I ever have.
It's fascinating.
Is it?
Yes. Well, there's something real about it. There's something very organic. There's something...
That's it.
True about
honest.
it. Yeah.
Goes right back to, being genuine.
Yeah.
I try to be as genuine as possible.
Yeah.
It drives people crazy sometimes.
Well, shame on them, but...
Amen to that.
I mean...
Yeah, shame on them.
We need more honesty.
I believe so. I think I've become... The rule is, for me, is it honest? Is it kind? Is it necessary?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and you can be honest and not kind, by the way. So you can hurt people.
But also, is it necessary?
Right.
And that's something that I've been trying to practice. Always try to be kind. I always try to be honest. Sometimes being honest is not necessary.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes you just got to be kind.
Yeah.
And I find that...
Like always, you should be kind.
Yeah, absolutely. And I find that with people who I disagree with politically, and ideologies and religions and all that. Yeah. I don't, I won't agree with somebody on things, but I'll be kind.
Yeah.
Because you believe that, and that's okay. You might be wrong.
Right.
To be honest.
Well, that's right.
But that person is a feeling person.
Yeah.
That person.
So it's almost again gets back to art, right? Art, you can create something, and you may not like it if I create it,
right.
But I created it, and so there's something about what I have that makes it real to me.
Yeah.
Whether it's a belief or a piece of art, or and for someone to denigrate that because they don't happen to think it's art, or they don't.
Well, what it comes down to now is I've seen this thing called conservative theater. Like, that's a thing? Oh yeah, there's a theater. I think Chicago, maybe. It's always Chicago.
Yeah, of course.
Chicago's got some weird art going on out there, man. There's some really weird things happening out there. Bad toxicity. I think that's general in art now. Like, there's a lot of toxicity. A lot of tribalism has worked its way into art. But I find conservative theater to be an oxymoron. How about just theater?
Yeah.
If you have a conservative point of view, you can put that into your art.
This is us having to label stuff, right? I mean...
Well, we have to label stuff. How do you know what's in the soup can?
I know, but... but they're not going to call it conservative tomato soup.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, that, the tribalism. It's identity. It's people wanting to have an identity. I know growing up, I was a punk rocker. I was goth. I was looking for an identity, you know, and people now, it's all about identity. And I get that. It's important for us to be individuals, and we are all individuals just like everyone else. You know?
Yeah.
When in reality, we need to survive, and we need to live together and figure out how we can work together, not what our problems are, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel that's the word. I don't think, I imagine. I always try to replace the word think with imagine or feel. Because imagine and feel are, I mean, as a writer, words are really important. And I feel like that's kind of lost. You know, George Carlin said, the quality of our thoughts are only as good as the quality of our language. Right?
Yeah.
You know, there was a time when we didn't have public education in America. And we weren't very smart. And we wouldn't survive very long because we weren't smart enough to survive. But the language changed, and we became a little more educated and a little bit more knowledge and wisdom. We live a little longer. We make better choices. You know, when we start dumbing down the language, we become dumb.
Right. Yeah.
You know, that lowest common denominator. That's when it comes down to the bottom line. We want a broad spectrum of people to buy our art. Instead of going, here's some not high quality, up art that, you know, that has no boundaries. The lowest denominator will go, what's that? Maybe ignore it, or get involved with it, and then all of a sudden you're bringing the status of that person up. You're injecting that person with knowledge. You know, that. I think that's art, you know? It moves you to the point of going, I want to do this, or I want more of this. I want to consume more of this. And all of a sudden, that artist's opinion starts seeping into you.
That gets back to your earlier point about provoking. Art provokes on some level.
Absolutely, every level.
Yeah.
It'll provoke, it stirs you, it moves you.
Yeah.
It makes you imagine. When you read a book, what goes into your mind?
Oh my God, the whole story. You're creating yourself. You're creating.
That's.
And how many people have you ever heard say that when they go see the movie based on the book, like, I never
it's
saw
not
it
the
that
same.
way. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. I'm always of an opinion.
Two people can read the same book and the characters looks different.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Even though it's written, it's the same character in the book.
Even like Harry Potter, like it took me a long time to figure out how to say a lot of those names, and I had different pronunciations in my head. And when I heard them in the movies, I was like, oh. That's not what I thought that was. You know?
Yeah.
That's the idea, is that it you know, gets the synapses going.
Yeah.
Even if it's something that the author or the writer or whatever, the creator, didn't intend. That's the beauty of it.
And there'll actually be a lot of that.
Yeah.
There's always a lot of that unintentional
absolutely.
consequences that come through.
Oh yeah, I listen to lyrics now. When I first heard them, I look at it completely different now.
Yeah.
You know, with knowledge and experience and all.
Yeah, right. Life just has a way of tempering.
Yeah. Things that I didn't like when I was younger, I'm in love with now.
Right.
I didn't like tomatoes when I was, 20. Now I eat them like they're a fruit.
The fruit that they are.
Yeah, the fruit that they are. Yeah, I love them.
So, looking over I think it was your Twitter account.
Yeah.
It says here that you were banned by Facebook at one point for something that you put out there.
Oh, what was it? It was something really...
It was a video or something from YouTube.
It was a video. Oh, yes, it was. This band called Jane's Addiction.
Yes.
One of my favorite bands, late 80s, early 90s. These guys are incredible. LA band. Kind of punk rock meets rock and roll. And psychedelic.
I've heard of them, and I know them. So,
yeah. Well, it was controversial. Their second record, called Nothing Shocking, had a sculpture that Perry Farrell, the lead singer, I think either he made it or his girlfriend made it, or they made it together. And it's of Siamese twins, nude, sitting on a bench. So you just see, it's a picture of a sculpture. And I posted the song because I love the song, and it was very, I was like, oh, I love this song so much. And they banned me from Facebook for 3 days because of nipples of a statue.
I hate to laugh.
I love it.
This stupidity of some of this stuff just...
Well, this is a computer deciding what it is. There's nobody at Facebook. It's an actual algorithm software that said, I deem this unacceptable on Facebook. Now, look, Facebook's it's just an app. It's not the government. A lot of people think it is,
Right.
you know, because we now govern by Facebook. I don't even get me started with that.
I'm with you.
But the fact of the matter is, we're going to let computers now decide what is acceptable in our society. And to me, that is unacceptable.
There's so much packed into this because I absolutely see that. And yet they're a private business, right?
They are, yep.
And so they can do it.
They can do whatever they want.
Right.
Absolutely.
But it drives us crazy.
Well-
because they pretend that it's open.
We're already crazy.
Yes, we are.
My issue is that it's so big, like we don't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, things like Facebook and Amazon have put people out of business.
Sure they have.
It has, and this is how it works, man. This is how businesses and economies change and grow. We saw this 100 years ago when they broke up all the big banks and broke up the billionaires' monopolies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is kind of what's happening now.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
with
it's
the railroads.
That's what I'm saying. With the railroads, with the railroads. Railroads were the Facebook of the time. It connected everybody. Roads, factories, railroads.
Well, yeah, the telephone, AT&T.
All of it, yeah. They broke them all up.
Yeah.
Because it hurts business, and in turn hurts communities and people trying to pay their bills and people trying to go, make art. But that was the first time I was banned on Facebook. My daughter's been banned a bunch.
No kidding.
Yeah, she's 20, almost 25, for like the most mundane things. But I think it is. I think it's growing pains. I don't think Zuckerberg realized what was coming and what he had created. He was just a nerd who was trying to win. It reminds me of somebody else, somebody who just wants to win. And I hope, because Zuckerberg's, I think he's testifying right now in Washington at this moment. They're trying to create their own currency now.
Oh, cryptocurrency or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And I don't think one person should be in charge of our currency. And that's kind of what we're headed towards. And what do they call that? Oligarchy, or where industry controls the government? I mean, that's kind of where we are.
I think we've been there for a long time.
No, I agree. But banning artists on Facebook is... Janice Ian? Do you know Janice Ian? She wrote that song, Learn the Truth at 17.
Oh, yes. Yes.
She also wrote Mrs. Robinson, I think.
She did?
I think so.
Oh.
She wrote one of the songs in the movie. She's an activist, great songwriter, classic. She's been banned. She's had her account deleted a few times now. Yeah, just for posting political things and people reporting her, and that hurts. I think that hurts the Facebook brand or any kind of social media brand. That's why Twitter, I think, is a little more open with that. But it also can be really dangerous, because then people can spew their hate to the point of inciting violence.
Yeah.
But me posting a video with a picture in it that has nipples of a statue, come on, dude.
I saw that, and it made me pause. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Really? Of all the things that we can get concerned about, this is where that stuff just gives me an aneurysm.
I had to laugh. I have another Facebook account, so I was like, all right, whatever. The thing about the social media, it's tough, is trying to get your work out. What's great about it is an independent artist has access to all this advertising. Right. The trouble is so much noise.
Yeah.
The one thing I did on my social media and all of it is curated it. Right. I went in and said, I want to see this, 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 and this. I don't want to see this anymore. I don't follow any more news organizations and my social media. I look up news. I listen to NPR, one of the most unbiased news sources on the planet. They're only beholden to their listeners.
Right.
They're not like a CNN that's beholden to their stockholders and their advertisers. Right? I read all the publications, but when I'm on my social medias, I want to see art. I want to see my friends. I want to see people I love and adore. I want to be inspired, and I look through my social medias, and every day I'm inspired. I'm not angered.
Right.
I'm not outraged anymore.
Right.
You know, it's
Yeah, no, I've done the same thing.
Time.
I just want to know what my friends are doing.
Yeah. I want to know what my friends are doing, the people that I follow, like I'm fans of. I want to know what they're doing, where they are. And it's hard. It's hard to for me to stay on top of the people that I'm fans of that I want to go see. I have to dig.
Right.
Because there's so much noise.
I know.
You know, and it's no different from the days before the internet, where you had to find out what was going on. And how did you do that? Word of mouth. And that's still the case. And that's what's great about the social media, is that you have now word of mouth from your friends and other fans of things that you follow, that they will inform you. And it's still the number one thing. And that's what social media really is word of mouth.
Yeah.
You know, you have these big conglomerates channeling all of this, but really it comes down to, you know, hey, you ought to check out Ray's podcast.
Right.
You know, I didn't find you, and you didn't find me by searching the internet. What kind of artist lives here?
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
You said you heard from somebody else. Oh, Billy Butler's done this. You should check him out. And, you know, hey, Ray has a podcast. He said, you know, you should come down and do it. All right.
Phones used to be that way, right? They had the 9-way calls, for crying out loud.
Oh my God. We had a party line for a long time. In fact, when I lived in Milton, we only had 4 numbers.
Really?
Yeah. For a long time. A long time.
God.
Yeah, into the 80s.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember I was like, I have to dial 7 digits? What am I calling, long distance?
Overseas?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not that old, but, you know, it was
Yeah.
still.
Yeah,
It's like
I
at
know.
the tail edge of the tail end of the Industrial Revolution, you know?
Yeah.
Telephones, man.
Oh, they've become much more than that now.
Yeah. I loathe my phone.
Do you? You
I
have a
love
love-hate relationship with it?
Well, I love it because I can record ideas immediately onto it. I can make lists. I write. Most of my writing now is done on my phone because I get an idea and I can just sit and write. I used to carry around notebooks and all that. I still do a lot of handwritten stuff, just because habit, you know, process. That's just the way I've done it. But I also like to use the phone as an expression. I've used it in different ways in the past on stage. That I was like, oh, let's try this. And people are like, oh my God, you used a phone in a show. I did Hurly Burly by David Rabe. Do you know the play?
Yeah.
At the Players Ring. Crazy, coked out Hollywood B-list celebrities in this play. On stage, we kind of updated a little bit. So on stage, I was sitting in the middle of this couch, and this dude on my right, dude on my left, and they're fighting back and forth. Another guy fighting this way, and I sit on the couch for literally 10 minutes and don't say anything. So I picked up my phone and I went to Facebook Live, and Facebook Live from...
Did you really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's funny.
When people were like, oh my God, he's taking everybody out of the moment, I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm using what we have. I thought it was fucking brilliant. If I do say so my damn self.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious. And it was challenging as an actor on stage because I had to stay in the moment as the character and I had to be technical. So I was like, all right, this character would be technical with this, so I'm going to do this all in character.
Wow.
It was awesome. It was such a great feeling.
Yeah, I'll bet. That's crazy.
Yeah, now it's done all the time. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying I did anything new,
Yeah.
but I was given a lot of shit for it. I
Were
was
you
like,
really?
Yeah. How could you do that?
Oh, the cast?
No, the cast loved it.
Oh.
Oh, no, the cast are coming over to the phone and looking at it. Oh, yeah.
So who gave you credit for it? The audience?
No, other people,
Oh.
purists. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
that's to be the death of us.
Well, that's what's happening, you know. I mean, purity. How pure is your political identity, Ray? Are you pure enough to vote? Are you pure enough to talk?
Yeah.
It's frightening.
I know. I know. They said that earlier. It's a crazy world.
Well, it's a crazy internet. You know? I think Frank Zappa said it best. Information is not knowledge. Knowledge is not wisdom. Wisdom is the domain of the whiz. Love is a French phonetic corruption of a short cloth ornament, neck ornament, and music is the best. But information is not knowledge.
That is correct.
Knowledge is not wisdom.
That is correct. I mean, there's plenty of information,
Yeah.
and a lot of it is just noise, like you said
Yeah.
earlier.
Knowledge is passed down. Knowledge is given.
Right.
Information
doesn't make you
is just-
wise.
Yeah, information is
You have
just
to be able to
information.
take knowledge
Yeah.
and do something with it, and then it can become wisdom.
Well, you just look at Facebook, you look at the internets. There's there's a ton of information.
Yeah.
People think that's knowledge, and they're learning something from Googling, and you're not. Because fake news, fake videos, fake all of it.
Yeah.
It's all fake.
Right.
It's not real. And that's why people get a disconnect. That blue and white screen's in front of them. That's not a human being.
Yeah.
It's a blue and white screen.
Yeah.
So you're just going to stream of conscious all the awful things that are in your head.
Right. And they wonder why they're depressed. They wonder why they're on meds.
Right.
Folks, give it up.
Yeah, and everyone's, brevity is the soul of wit, right? Everybody thinks they have all this brevity.
Yeah.
No, you're not Shakespeare.
Right.
You're not Charles Dickens.
Right.
You're stream of conscious writing things that you probably don't mean.
Yeah. Close the laptop, go for a walk.
Go for a walk, listen to some music, smoke a joint,
Yeah.
have a beer,
Yeah.
chill, it's okay.
Life would be so much better.
Life is pretty grand,
But you have to be in life to do it.
Yeah.
You can't be...
Can't be on the internet. Internet is not life. It's not real.
No, I know. I love the technology we have today. The main reason is because you can learn, right?
Oh, absolutely.
For me, it's
Yeah.
the biggest reason to do it. Because there's things I have learned that I would never gone to the library for in a million years.
But you learned it from somebody else.
Yes.
Your teachers.
Yes.
Your mentors.
Right.
Everything I've learned and continue to learn, I learned from other people. You have a teacher stand in front of the class talking about a book that we read. Well, you could have just gone home and read the book yourself.
Right.
But you have that mentor, that person that you look up to or maybe don't look up to, guiding you, coaching you, and saying, this is what this could mean. This is what this is. You can't learn math from just a book.
Right.
You have to have somebody who's practiced in math
Right.
to teach you that book or whatever that is, the web page or
Mhm.
whatever it is. And that's kind of getting lost in it. We're letting algorithms decide what's acceptable.
It's a dangerous day.
It is. And people do it too. I mean,
Skynet.
Skynet's real, man. Skynet is definitely real. There's some representative in Massachusetts who's trying to pass a law to make the word bitch illegal. And that if you call someone a bitch, that you'll be fined. I'm trying to grasp that mentality. Like what?
Good luck, because I don't want to grasp it. That to me is asinine.
It's there's no vision and foresight in that decision. It doesn't make any sense. It's First Amendment. I get it. A lot of this is part of the rape culture. It's a part of denigration of women. I totally get it. But when you limit speech, you limit thought. And it's just not going to happen. That's the reality. This guy lives in a la-la land.
If that is your legislative stance, you have no other things concerning you. Day is done.
That's the big argument.
Day is done.
That's the big argument. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're a
Yeah.
lawmaker. You're creating laws that don't need to be there.
Have you never heard of the First Amendment?
Well, people, like
come on, are you serious?
like to take the laws we have.
This is
and-
why it's very dangerous to have certain people. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, we're about to go.
We're about to go down that rabbit hole, man.
I know.
But it comes down to information and knowledge. If you limit that word, now you're going to limit what's next. And I had this conversation with somebody. I said, I'm a writer. I'm an artist. They come for us first.
Mm-hmm.
When
Because you control the words.
Well, we express ourselves
Right.
with words. Brecht.
It's your tool.
That said that art is a reflection of life, not the other way around. And Bertolt Brecht said, life is not a mirror. It's a hammer to chisel out the world. And he was absolutely right. I mean, they're both correct. But when you limit speech, you limit knowledge and wisdom and creativity, you know, that's going down the Handmaid's Tale. You know, that's going down that road. You know, that's Shira law. Where we're letting words illegal? No. We can't make words illegal. We as a culture can decide this word is unacceptable. And when you call someone that word, we're going to call you out. And that's where this guy's, you know, that's where his energy should be focused in saying this word and the way we treat women and the way we treat each other is unacceptable.
Right. You don't ban it.
No, you don't ban. We can't ban.
Same thing with
You can't ban racism.
Right.
You're going to ban race. How are you going to do that?
Right.
We need to educate. We need to be compassionate and kind and listen. One of the lines in Pussy Riot, it says, and she speaks it directly to the audience, I know politics fills us all with suspicion, paranoia, and hatred, but we must try very hard to listen to one another. And that, for me, is why I do theater, because we get to go and sit and listen, not just to the actors on stage, but we're listening to our own humanity. We're listening to each other. And the politics in that audience doesn't matter.
This is why I get so upset over when I read or see that schools want to ban certain plays.
Oh, don't even get me started.
This to me is just outrageous.
Well, they're firing, you know, gay teachers. You know, they're saying you can't do this play because of X, Y, Z. You know, don't do art then. Don't you know, if you can't handle it. Right. And it's what it is a few parents that, you know, have fundamental beliefs, and you have to respect their beliefs, but they have to respect that you don't get to decide.
This is literature.
Yeah. How long have they been banning books, man?
Did they not know about Fahrenheit 911 or 411? That 411, not 911.
That was a good movie, that 9/11, Fahrenheit 9/11.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So you just can't go around banning things that
they've been trying. It doesn't work.
I know.
They're still trying to ban Tom Sawyer because of the N-word. Yeah. We have to keep that. You know, Mark Twain is one of the great American satirists. And you're going to censor Mark Twain? Who's next? We're going to censor Shakespeare?
They would if they could.
They've tried.
I mean, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, like I said, when you limit free speech, and free speech has limitations, you can't yell fire in a crowded theater without it being on fire.
Right.
That, to me, isn't free speech. It's free thought. You should be able to express yourself, even if it's full of hate and racism and all that. I will defend your right to say that, but I will also put you in your place. Yeah. Because I have a right to do that.
That's right.
To tell you that what you're saying is hateful and hurtful and wrong and uneducated and all of that.
Yeah.
But you shouting people out, canceling them, trying to marginalize and alienate these people is not the way to civil discourse. Mm-hmm. You know, we need to understand, and like I said, we need to listen. Gotta listen. And acting is listening.
To it. Yes.
You know, when you're not speaking your lines, what are you doing?
You better be listening.
You better be listening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the audience will know that you're not listening.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's all connected, man.
I know.
It's all connected. That's what art, like, it is. It is a reflection of life.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why people want to ban it.
Yeah. They don't like...
Yes, right. I mean, for crying out loud.
Yeah. Let's ban it.
Yeah. Because I can't look in that mirror.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, but, you know, that's the way we were back
Get out of the bathroom. You know?
Yeah.
You can always not look in the mirror.
Yeah, exactly right. Take the mirror out.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. Thank you.
Is that it? How'd I do?
Good. Right? Do you have anything you want to throw out there?
No, thanks for asking, caring that I have something to say, I guess. You know?
I found it fascinating.
Thanks.
I found it fascinating. And I really enjoyed it. I love to be provoked to think. I'm glad you came by.
Yeah, me too. Imagine.
Imagine. That's right.
Yeah.